Frankie, I was terrible last week. I was terrible. Big week. We launched our new league, and I'm near the bottom. I'm not far off the bottom, actually. It's shocking from myself. Let me just get my team up. I haven't really. I think it's this one. Yeah, this is my team from last week. Look at it. Absolutely
Oh, it's got
awful.
wild card written above it as well.
Yeah, I did it, didn't I? Wild carded my team to bring in Salah. And yeah, that backfired. The guy did nothing against Nottingham Forest. So I
Oh,
even
you captained him as well.
yeah, normally I would captain Haaland. I've captained Haaland every game week. So last week I wild carded, brought Salah in, gave him the armband, and massively backfired. Gabriel, sort of, I say saved me a little bit. He did, but I also called it to some extent. So it's not like I got lucky. It's not like Mosquera came off the bench and scored for Wolves and got a clean sheet. That would have been lucky. There was no luck involved in Gabriel hauling 15 points against Spurs. But yeah, that was
You called
terrible.
it, mate. I remember the phrase when you said they're not very good at defending corners. Gabrielle, you literally wrote the script, I'd say.
Yeah. But a shocking performance from me. You were a little bit better, Frankie. Is it this one? No, that's your week. This is the one here. This is your points haul. 61 points for you. Ollie Watkins with a brace for you. Captained Haaland. Garnacho with a goal. I know he was on your bench, but Alanga got an assist as well. Kukurea getting 5 points. You did all right. Were you happy with your points haul last weekend?
It's not bad. I mean, obviously, Liverpool's let me down massively there with 3 points from three Liverpool players. You don't expect that at all. And that's the danger of having three players from the same team. If they have a bad performance and they get a bad result, that's how it can hit you. So my Gordon and Isak ain't working out either. I really thought that they would be doing all right for me, and they're just not getting the points that I expected of them. So look, it was all right. It was a decent enough week because, some people, but I got away with it, Gio. I said I was going to be patient. I'm being so patient. I'm not a patient man at all either. I'm almost Frankie Moyes at the moment because I'm just churning the same team every single week without any transfers, not really any subs. It's the same lineup week in, week out. And at the moment, I'm getting away with it. But a bit like the old Moyes days, I'm kind of expecting it to come unstuck at some point. I'm expecting a bad week somewhere along the line. But I keep toying with this wild card idea, and there just isn't any fixture that I look at it and go, well, I really want to bring in those players because there's a fixture that I really want to attack and go after. So yeah, I'm kind of stuck to my guns at the moment a little bit.
Well, I've been like Todd Bowley. I've been bringing in new players every opportunity. I need it, but maybe not this week. But looking back to last week, we launched our new league for the watchers of this video series only. The league code's on your screen now. It's DQ0E52. So if you do want to join, you want to be a late entry into the league, you're more than welcome. There's the code. And we launched a little competition last week, Frankie. So the manager of the week was going to pick up a poster that was inside the stadium in Prague, where West Ham won the Conference League. Now, the winner, the person that was top of the league, there is a little bit of context, which Frankie will apply in just a second, because I never noticed this. But the winner was Kimberly Smith. So well done, Kimberly, with her team. Happy Hammer, 87 points she hauled last weekend. She captained Ollie Watkins, which was, I have to say, a brave move considering his form, but he returned with a brace. She's got Haaland up front as well. Ederson in goal, Saka and Bowen in midfield. She actually missed out on a few points because she had Man United's goalkeeper Onana on the bench, who got
Didn't
13
miss
points.
out, but that's the point. That's the context. She
Yeah.
claimed those points because of the bench boost.
That's correct. That's the context. Frankie, you take the context away because I didn't notice this.
So, I saw top of the league and I had a look at the team and I was like, yeah, okay, Watkins captain Haaland, but 87 points, it doesn't make sense. And then I saw the little bench boost logo at the top of the team, and what a clever move. We've got a 1 week only prize to be won, and she's played a chip absolutely so cleverly to make sure the maximum points was there. Anana's probably, well, is what's done it. It's a substitute goalkeeper with a 13-point haul is the reason why it's the prize winner. So, yeah, I mean, very clever move. Play a chip, win the prize. I'd love to know whether or not, and it would be interesting if we can get the comment below, that bench boost would have been played if it wasn't.
Well, we will get the answer.
A prize to be won.
On the video last week, her fella Mesh put in a comment saying my missus is winning the league. I'm not having this. So he I think he'll, even if she would be a bit coy, so no, I would have done it. I think he might stitch her up and say no chance because he's been beaten by his missus at Banter League. So the winner of the league last weekend, well done, Kimberly, 87 points. She's played the game really well here, man. Well done. I'm actually quite impressed. When you told me, I thought fair play because I'd imagine a lot of other people might be thinking, I wish I'd done that. I wish I'd just thought, because at the end of the day, Fantasy League, we all play it. 99% of us get nothing at the end of the season. Kimberly's just got a poster from Prague. Incredible. So Kimberly, please email us, but also what to do in the comment section of the last video. Can you just put in a bit of your, not your entire email address, just a bit of your email address so we can verify it is actually you that's getting in touch with us and not somebody pretending to be you and claiming the prize. Frankie, you ready to move on to this coming week?
I am, but one more thing before that. I felt so sorry for Lee Batu with Batu's Bad Boys coming in second. 83-point haul without playing a chip. Captain Haaland, Watkins, Vardy, Sanchez in goal with a 15-pointer. If I'd have been beat by a bench boost, I would have been absolutely gutted. So I'm going to give Batu's Bad Boys a poster as well because I feel like he deserves it. So the top two are getting the poster this week.
So congratulations, Lee. You get in touch with us as well with the same form as Kimberly. hammerschat@gmail.com. We'll get a poster set to you both. So massive thank you to Frankie for giving those posters, but well done to Kimberly and Lee for picking up those prizes as well. And he had Callum Hudson-Odoi on the bench as well. So had he played his bench boost, he would have got an extra 8 points, and that would give him 91. So he would have won the league had he bench boosted as well. So well done, Kimberly. You played the game perfectly. Well done, Lee. You played the weekend perfectly as well. Moving on to this weekend, Frankie, let's start with your team. Here it is. It's the same team that we've been seeing for quite a few weeks now.
Yeah, same team. Roll it on again. It did okay for me last week. Like I said, I had a look. I made a draft of a wild card draft, and there wasn't enough gain, I felt, for warranting playing it. So also, if I don't make any transfers this week, it means I've got 3 transfers next week. So that's 3 free transfers. So that can be enough to really sort of shake the team up. So I always said at some point I was probably going to roll all of my free transfers over this year because you can build it up to 5 free transfers, and 5 free transfers almost feels like a bit of a wild card in itself. So I'm sticking with my guns. I'm rolling it on again. Am I confident? No. But do I feel like keeping the wild card further down the line may make up for a potential poor week? Then I'm hoping that will be the case. So same again.
I think this is a hard game week, actually. I think some of the fixtures are a little bit tricky. Obviously, you've got the 2 big hitters, Arsenal, Man City, playing each other on Sunday as well. And the way that Arsenal have approached the last 2 games, I think you can expect a low-scoring game in that one. I think you're going to see a low-block Arsenal getting wheeled out. And they've been good defensively against Inter Milan and Spurs. I wouldn't be surprised to see something again on Sunday. So when you've got your sort of maybe your 2 best scoring teams in terms of attacking, possibly playing out a low scoring game, it is a little bit underwhelming. But also, I feel there's a lot of doubts this weekend. Dominic Calvert Lewin, Alexander Isak, Yao Pedro, the Muniz, the Fulham striker who's got benched last weekend as well. So there's a lot of the normal candidates for leading the line are got question marks above their head. Ollie Watkins scored, but you almost worry. I'm convinced at some point we're going to see a little bit of rotation in some of these Champions League teams. And Aston Villa's got Duran, who keeps on scoring. He scored an absolute screamer last weekend as well to win the game, and came off the bench midweek and scored. It got disallowed, but he still scored. And at some point, Emery's going to have to take Watkins out and put Duran in, I think, almost just to keep him happy. It might be the Champions League. It might not be the Premier League. But I think that the rotation risk at some point for Ollie. So this is the first week I've not done any transfers, Frankie. So I'll talk you through my team in a second. However, there's one player I'm keeping my eye on. And if anybody out there is wildcarding, I would suggest I like my low-cost budget midfielders, but here's my team this week. Henderson, my back three. I was tempted to bring Porto in because I'm playing Brentford, but I can't get, because of my theory regarding the low-scoring game between Arsenal and Man City, I'm having to leave my defenders in there. And Alexander-Arnold's just, I'm never taking him out regardless of who they're playing. Pedro's a doubt. Now, he is training today. So I'm unsure. I might end up changing it and putting him in, but for now, I'm going to leave him on the bench. Delap up against Southampton away, so I fancy him to maybe haul this weekend. But I've gone from a midfield 5, just Semenyo, Rodgers. Still nothing from Rodgers, Frankie. Still nothing. But I'll tell you what, I think he's been fantastic. I genuinely think he's been Villa's best player so far this season. But just, it's not returning. He was really good midweek again. I thought he was absolutely sensational against young boys, but just not that it would matter because it's the Champions League. But I don't know. I'm just like, come on, give me some points, please. But the player I'm going to keep my eye on is Carvalho of Brentford, Fabio Carvalho, 4.8 million because his price has dropped. But Wissa's now injured, so Thomas Frank's going to have to do something. It might be Shada up front. It might be Embo up front. But Shada didn't really impress during the week. Carvalho, 2 goals and assist during the week in the Carabao Cup as well. And I just think there's no doubt in Carvalho's quality. Fantastic on loan at Hull last season. I think he scored every second game for Hull in the Championship. It's just game time that was an issue. But now I feel like that game time's a way to arrive for him. If I was doing a transfer in midfield this weekend, and I'm not because I just really like my 5, I think Fabio Carvalho is somebody I'd be bringing in at 4.8 million. I think it's a bit of a no-brainer, really. Even if he was your 5th choice midfielder, I think it's a really good one to have, actually.
Yeah, I mean, it seems a great move. I'm kind of keeping my eye out for some of those players as well, those ones that have dropped in price but potentially can have a couple of price increases and get you a few extra pennies in the bank as well, because they do make a difference. So somebody like that, even if it's only for a 4-week game run, then he may see that price increase. Let
me tell you, Brentford's run a fixture. So they're away to Spurs this weekend, who aren't looking great at the minute. Then he's at home to West Ham, home to Wolves, away to Man U, home to Ipswich, away to Fulham, home to Bournemouth, away to Everton, home to Leicester. Brentford have got a really nice run of fixtures coming up, which takes you into December, where they then play Aston Villa away. But that's the 3rd of December. So Brentford players, I think, could be candidates for possibly bringing in at the moment. Carvalho, I'm not going to move this weekend for him, but that's just because I'm a bit stubborn. Got my fingers burnt by doing too many transfers so far, and I just really like my midfield, to be honest with you. Embo, Salah, Eze, Rodgers, Semenyo. I think if I had another midfielder, I'd be bringing Carvalho in, but I don't. So I'm sticking to my guns. In terms of strikers, a lot of people talking about Jamie Vardy. I mean, he's doing it.
Not for me. Yeah, but not for me. I know it's like the final Vardy party and this and that and the other. I'm not convinced by it. I mean, he's always got a goal in him. We know he's quality. We know he can score a goal out of nothing, and that's always made a career of it. So, but I'm not convinced. But then there isn't that many striker options this year, and that is the thing. But for me, with Haaland, Isak and Watkins, I'm far more confident that I'll see points from them than I would Jamie Vardy.
Yeah, I think you're okay at sticking. I mean, Vardy's got this weekend at home to Everton, so it's a good fixture.
Yeah.
Then it's away to Arsenal, but Bournemouth at home, Southampton away, Forest at home, Ipswich away. It's a nice run of fixtures.
That is a good one.
For any striker in the Premier League. And he's got a little bit of competition with Edouard. So it's not for me either, but that's more because I can't really negotiate a transfer over to Jamie Vardy. I can understand why people are bringing him in, though, because if you can get 3 goals out of that run, that's a good haul. Because the strikers, at the start of the season, I felt like there was almost too many options for strikers. But at the minute, it feels like there's not that many. Suddenly they've all dried up for reasons I've discussed earlier. Chris Wood hasn't scored for a couple of weeks now. He's on a barren run. But there's also competition at these clubs. Even Crystal Palace, Mateta hasn't been doing it as such, but now they've got Nketiah on loan. It's like, whoa, hang on a minute. They're both playing at the minute, but it just feels like that's too much. I'm waiting to see as to who the number 1 striker is at Crystal Palace long term. Will it remain Mateta, who's got contract issues, or will Nketiah come in and become?
Well, he's hurting Eze. If he isn't, and Mateta does be a bench sitter, it will help Eze a lot, because Mateta seems to be given the nod for penalties at the moment. So that's giving him that extra little boost and almost taking it off of Eze. So, yeah. Any
other players you're watching, or?
I'm not. Like I said, I've had a look at the fixtures. I've had a look at what's going on. We've had that international break. We're coming back. Let's see who hits the ground running this week, and then that might allow me. There's a couple of Chelsea players that I've been a bit interested in. I'm not picking them this week because I don't do that when we're playing that club. For me, West Ham winning is more important.
Chelsea are still a major avoid for me. Any Chelsea player, I'm not going to.
But at some point, they've got to find consistency and just, find their 11 and try and get them used to playing with each other. They can't keep making all these changes and mixing it up like they
are. Jackson up front. I like Jackson, but Nkunku's now he was the pick at the start of the season, wasn't he? Nkunku.
Everyone had him.
I did until the few days before the start of the season. I thought, no, I'm not convinced he's going to start. I'm glad I went with that because it was a mistake to have him. But off the bench to score last weekend, so he's knocking on the door now to start.
I'm going to say this, Gio, though, because I do watch all your videos. You tipped him to be 6th. Gonzo picked him to be 5th. There's got to be points in there if you expect him to finish that high in the Premier League.
Yeah, they will, but the problem is, I think they've got such a good squad. So striker, Jackson or Nkunku, right wing, could be Madueke. He might move Cole Palmer back out there in order to put in Nkunku in number 10. On the left, you've got Neto, Mudryk. There's just too much players for Chelsea. And then Jadon Sancho, another one that can play left or right. I just feel like if I say to you Arsenal's attack, you go, oh, yeah, Saka's definitely on the right. Havertz is definitely playing. It might be Martinelli. It might be Trossard. He may play Jesus. Sterling's there. You don't really know. But you know Saka's playing and you know Havertz is playing and you know Brentford, Odegaard's playing. Don't have that with Chelsea at the minute. Aston Villa, I say to you, Aston Villa, Watkins up front, Rodgers in number 10, Ramsey's on the left, McGinn's on the right. You know what their starting 11 is. They've almost got they've got a handful of players that are gowned. West Ham, Bowen will be playing, Kudus will be playing, Paqueta should be playing, striker, don't know, but the other 3 are all pretty much certain to be playing. Chelsea, Cole Palmer, that's it. The rest of them are just, you don't know who's playing for them.
And I guess that's why I haven't gone the Chelsea route at the moment. But I do feel at some point in the season we will know. Not necessarily everyone, but I feel like there will be some of those answers. I feel like someone's got to make a position their own. And
I'm not sure. Do you know why? Because I think they're too, Cole Palmer, I feel they're too patchy. So they'll do all right for a couple of weeks. Like Madueke hit a hat-trick not long ago. He's done nothing since.
And I didn't bring him in because I didn't fancy him to continue that.
So I think this is going to be the story of Chelsea, where they'll have a player that'll be in form, but as soon as he's out form, he's out of the team because the squad depth is just incredible. So it's not like Newcastle, where Anthony Gordon's not performing. Eddie Howe will still play him because there's not an alternative. Well, there is. It's Almiron or Jacob Murphy. If Barnes goes in, Barnes goes on the left and Gordon goes to the right. If Barnes isn't in, Gordon goes to the left. But Gordon will always play regardless of form because the squad depth isn't strong enough. But with Chelsea, it's too good. It's like, so if Neto goes a couple of weeks out scoring, he's got to come out because Sancho's going in. If Madueke ain't doing it, he's got to come out because someone else is going in. Chelsea are just too too many red flags for me. With I'm very uncertain regarding playing time from the Chelsea attackers. I mean, I get your point, and I think they'll do all right. It's just the players involved, I think, will chop and change too much.
It'll be interesting. I think, like you said, though, Madueke was one of those players who he scored that hat-trick. Everyone brings him in. There's this flood. I just fancy it somewhere. There's going to be a play there somewhere, whether it be from a player getting a bit of a run. Like you say, maybe not long term, but just to...
If I was to punt on a Chelsea player, it would be Nkunku. That would be who my...
Yeah, and he's one that in my wild card draft, he went in and back out again. And it was someone that I thought, is he the man? And I wasn't 100% convinced. But I'm going to keep a close eye over the next couple of weeks. We're back from international break. We normally see now who's starting to make an impression and who's going to kick on. So, important week for me this one, mate. I'm going to watch as much football as I can this weekend and get a good read on what's happening.
Yeah, I'm assuming there's not a game on Monday night because of all the Carabao Cup games and Champions League games, but I've got 5 Premier League fixtures to watch. Chelsea West Ham, pick a 3 p.m. game. Can't recall who's playing Saturday night. We've got Chelsea Arsenal on
Saturday night is Palace Man United.
Well, I'll be watching that, and then Sunday, I can't recall that Brentford's playing someone on Sunday. I think Tottenham. Is it Brentford Tottenham on Sunday?
Brentford are Tottenham, but it's on the Saturday.
Oh.
The Sunday games are Bournemouth at home to Nottingham. Brighton at home to Nottingham Forest, and Man City at home to Arsenal.
Okay. 2 good games. So I'll be watching West Ham, a 3 p.m. game, Palace Man U, and then Brighton, and then the City Arsenal game. So I'll be getting 5 Premier League games in this weekend. So usually there's another one like a Friday or a Monday. So I hate it. When it's West Ham, I hate it. But when it's not West Ham, I love it. As a neutral, I might bring it on. I want as much football. But there's a couple of good German games. There's a good German game on Sunday night as well this weekend. So plenty of football for me. But for you guys at home, here's the league again. If you haven't already entered, DQ0E52. Get involved in the comments below. Let us know your 11 going into this weekend. Let us know any tips that you have, any players to keep an eye on. You might not have transferred them in. I haven't transferred in Fabio Carvalho. It doesn't stop me sitting here going, I think you should keep an eye on this one. Frankie's saying keep an eye on those Chelsea attackers, but he's yet to transfer any in. So you got any players to watch? Get it into the comments, because if you were to say, look at this player and he goes on to score this weekend, next week we'll give you a mention, we'll give you a credit. We'll say, well, this guy was ahead of the curve. So get involved. But if you've enjoyed this video, please do drop a like on it by clicking thumbs up. Subscribe to Hammers Chat. Myself and Frankie will catch up with you next week. But thank you very much, and I'll see you soon.